Okay.
Okay.
Hi,
Good morning,
everyone.
everybody.
This is
We're
Kimberly Sanders and Rachel. Hi. Do
gonna
you want to say a little introduction of what you're recording?
Sure, yeah. So, a lot of people are jumping into this cleanse, particularly Tears as Friends today. So we've got a bunch of people who are going to be joining. And it is such a pleasure for me to be able to share this with everyone. I'm a regenerative health practitioner. My name is Rachel Balancet, clinical iridologist. I met Tirza through Ayurveda. I think that's where we met, was like somehow through the Ayurveda school, also through Devin. Is that you, Devin? Deva Fungi, is that you, Debbie? And so yeah, we've been circling around for the last 15 years, and I was sick with Hashimoto's autoimmune disorder of the thyroid for a good 9 years and struggling with my health, super exhausted, really with like a lot of brain fog and malaise and just lack of motivation, lack of ambition, and to the point that I couldn't work anymore, didn't want to work anymore, and I eventually moved into my car. I just couldn't even, like, surviving was just like barely, just felt like I was barely surviving every single day. And then I found this protocol, the Purium protocol, and it completely changed my life. The 90-day protocol literally saved me. And within the first 10 days, all of my symptoms were gone and I felt amazing. And my brain fog lifted, my energy went through the roof. I started feeling like I could do anything. All of a sudden, I wanted to work. All of a sudden, I had energy to help people, and that's what I did. I said had been a wedding photographer for 16 years, and I thought, now I want to just help people with their health, because now I know what it's like to be sick, and I know what it's like to get well. And so many people feel hopeless and don't even imagine they can get well. I didn't imagine I can get well. So this was almost like a miracle, like a fluke, like how did I stumble upon this? So I've been sharing this with people ever since. And then Tirza joined me a number of years ago. We've been doing this together, sharing this with lots of people. And then I also have my friend Kimberly, who's on the call, Kimberly Sanders, who's also been doing this with me. And we're friends, we're side team buddies. And she has been a huge inspiration to me because she is constantly the living example of health. And she has her own health story. Actually, it would be really interesting to hear your story because I've never actually heard you share your story on a call before. So it'd be fun to hear you share about that. But I just really deeply admire you, and I admire how much you share this with the world, how you just really get this out there. You're constantly helping people transform their health. You're always going live on Facebook, sharing people's stories, interviewing people. And it's just like, you're just this total inspiration to me. So I'm so stoked that you actually joined us on the call today. It's fun to have you.
Thank you so much. It's always just it's such a blessing and like an answer to all of our prayers when I see friends that like we're sharing prior to even starting the recording. It's like these are the beings that are here to experience this level of even more effervescent joy with ourselves. Like once you've gotten yourself to a place where your health and your wellness is just like top priority. It's like, yes, I want this for everybody, but not everybody wants to take such full responsibility. But then when you bring people in that are just really dedicated to living our ultimate like best day ever, best life ever, the poisons are gone, the soothing methods are like non-existent. Like the reasons why we're flourishing in this food is because we have worked through all of the shadow sides with us, and we know that we are these temples, these beings that are here to be conduits for bringing more peace unto this world. And we've gotten to find and hook into a type of effervescent manna from heaven, basically, that is coming through this earth. And we get to be activated fully in a time where so many people are confused and there's so much more toxins than ever before. And so it makes it so much easier. And for my story, a little piece of it is that I've been allergic to things the minute that I came out onto this planet. My mother's milk, sugar, wheat, soy, dairy, all of it. So
Wow.
I had to eat so specifically when I was little. And then when I was 9, I decided to become plant-based and not eat animals anymore. And then I started learning how to like make my own food at a very young age. And I started making the meat side for my dad and the vegetable side for my mother and I. And like that was when I was 12 years old, you know? So I've been in a state of nourishment, plant-based, no dairy, very little sugar, any of those things. And I'm still in a state of really healing my own body and everything. And then I did hair for 28 years as a master stylist. And so there's a ton of need for detoxification, but also I was always sharing nutrition and how to walk people through going plant-based for decades. Then I got to be a raw foodist in my mid-20s, and I followed David Wolfe, Gabrielle Cousins, and like that was 20 years ago. And I just knew that superfoods were the answer because I wasn't here to eat animals still. And so in the past, before Purium, I would have given you 15 different websites to get all the best superfoods that I could find for years. And then we get to have this, and Purium came into me from my homeopathic doctor and his Ayurvedic wife, and they write out prescriptions with Purium. And that's the only reason why I even went for it, because my knowings over the past 20 years of how amazing different things are. And like, I'm not just going to go with any type of company. And I did probably 8 to 9 different network marketing companies prior to Purium because I knew network marketing would save my life and get me out of doing hair. So not only did I find the best product on the market, I also found a way that I could bring this way that I've been teaching people for decades already to have a fully locked and loaded way of being able to share this nutrition, help people be healthy, as well as then after many years now, in my 4th year, I'm a 6-figure earner in the company, and I help others walk into being true superfood superheroes that they can then start living by example. So you're never selling, you're never pushing, you're explaining the lifestyle that you've healed yourself through. And you walk people into a really beautiful way of self-care, self-love. And in the process, they become coming from like a cocooned um, client who you're walking into this amazing nutrition system to then fully blossomed out to a brand partner that is sharing their lifestyle that they have really cultivated. So that is something I've never even been able to speak that clearly on before because of the space that you hold for me. So that's the trajectory of like how the short version of how I've gotten to become, somewhere over, just thousands and thousands of dollars every single month for 6 years, like over $10,000 of customer sales every single month for 6 years, because I know what this food is and I know how to help people get it into their lives. And if people can just stick with it, you will ignite yourself in such a way so that you'll have the tools to be able to help people take their sovereignty back and have their joy come back into their lives, and then be able to have financial support come in. Yes, please. I want to say that I have helped people move into financial freedom, that they are $1 million earners in my team. That is what I wish to see and what I know is possible, because once you remove all the fear and you've detoxed your body from the poisons and the parasites and all the things that no longer serve you, you're unstoppable on every single level. And you can speak to every single person that comes within your wake, because you know you have something that none of them have experienced unless they're already in this world with us. So anyway, thank you. I love you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly. It's such a treat to have you here, and I just feel so inspired by you. And again, yeah, like it's really interesting to hear your personal story about being in the toxins. Like I just saw you post that picture of yourself the other day where you shaved your head basically in the 80s. I was like, oh yeah, or whenever that was 90s. I can't remember. That picture was so awesome with all of your hair, well, your salon crew, and how you were like, I'm done with toxins. I'm shedding this. I'm starting over. I'm like not gonna dye my hair anymore. I'm getting rid of all this, and just like you really made a commitment to your health. And so I know a lot of people here are, committed to their health, and I just see that Tirza joined us. Yay, Tirza. Would love to have you also hear your voice as well, Tirza. And, you know, I'm gonna, where today's call is gonna be a little bit different than some of the Saturday calls, because I really, usually like, we'll share a few stories, you know, about on Saturdays, just to inspire people to keep going on their protocol, you know, to really help people feel like, yes, I got this, and that they got all their questions answered, not running into any blocks. And then we'll often go into like sharing about what the products are, in case there's new people on the call who are still wanting to know what it is, and maybe they haven't actually gotten their 90-day yet. And so we'll address that. And then we go into Q&A. But I would love to invite people, if you have any questions, to go ahead and just put them in the chat if you have any questions. And what I'm going to do today that's different is I'm going to talk a little bit about the schedule, because I know that people are sometimes a little bit confused because things have shifted over the years and we do things differently. So there's a couple of different ways to do it. And just go ahead and like everyone find your chat so I can see like what people need on the call today. And I'm glad to see that that is you, Devin. Deva Fungi, my sister from another mister. All right, what is the question about the schedule? Okay, I'm guessing that was, you meant about, is that what your question was, about the schedule? Okay. And, oh, and you've got a recipe book, Kimberly. Okay, awesome. All right, and then people are just happy to listen. Okay, cool. So let's just go with another inspiration. If somebody else would like to share their story, either Shri or Michelle or Gleneth. Good morning, Gleneth. Good to see you. And Deborah Haviland. Good to see you from the East Coast. Awesome. These are all people who've had major transformations doing the 90-day protocol. So anybody want to share? Gleneth. We'll go with Gleneth. Because a lot of the people who come also have Hashimoto's. You had Hashimoto's, you had sleep apnea. Yeah, just maybe a little brief synopsis. And you wait.
Sure. Sorry, I was kind of finishing up taxes. I've been using this for over 9 years, and I'm a lifer for sure. When I started, I wasn't in very good shape. I had both hypothyroid and sleep apnea. And those two both wipe out your energy. So I was always looking for something for more energy, right? So I got on this, and to my surprise, I was so busy. I mean, I didn't notice much except that I was dropping a pound every day. And that was really what I got on it for. and at the end of that month, I had a follow-up study for my sleep apnea. And they said I was 1 breath from normal. And I was just blown away. I looked in the mirror, and I had dropped 7.5 inches off my gut. And I was just blown, you know, I'm going, wow, okay, I'm continuing to use this, right? So 5 months later, I was able to get off my sleep apnea, my hypothyroid meds. And I've just, you know, I've been retired now for a while and doing what I really love. And I get the added bonus of being able to share this with others. So that's kind of in a synopsis.
You're in your 70s going on 30s.
Yeah, I'm 72 now.
Yeah, looking good, Gleneth. Feeling good. I love how you have so much energy and vibrance. Gleneth is an amazing cob builder. Sir Gleneth of the land of Cobb. He actually lives up in Cobb and he builds cob. And so he's also a clay artist and teaches art and permaculture. So yeah, you're thriving over there. Thanks for your story. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the food list and what we're doing. So the 90-day protocol has the first 2 months are the parasite cleanse. So month 1, you are doing 10 days of the super cleanse our herbs for 10 days in the middle of the month. So days 1 through 10 is prep. Days 11 through 21 are the cleanse, are like deep in the cleanse. And then the last 10 days of the month are like the continuation and like just basically continuing to learn to the lifestyle, because it takes a while to develop new habits. And this is called the ultimate lifestyle transformation, because we are transforming our lifestyle. What a lot of people will try to do is do this and then go back to what they were doing, and then they're going to get sick again, or they're going to have whatever problems they're having, digestive problems, sleep problems, brain fog, all that stuff. So this is not like one of those one and done things. This is called an ultimate lifestyle transformation. So this is designed to help you start to have really a healthy lifestyle of choices and making better choices in your food, understanding how the body works and what the body needs, and giving it what the body needs. So that's really what's unique about this protocol. And so some people are doing it for 30 days, some doing 60, and I always recommend 90 because 90 was what really shows long-term results. We study, when you really look at the statistics of the company, people who do the full 90-day protocol really have lasting changes, because by then they've developed habits and the cravings have gone away. And so cravings for foods that we once ate, like I used to love ice cream, I used to love cookies, and I used to love chips, okay? I'm not saying I don't like those things anymore, but they're not like, they don't have a grip on me like they used to. I used to love all those things, and I would do the vegan version. So, you know, still it was like, I was still, you know, eating junk food. Vegans can be just as unhealthy as anyone else. So it's not like any bragging. It was just more junk food. And I was very much a sugar fiend. It was very hard for me to say no to cookies every day. It was very hard for me to, I worked weddings, and it was hard for me to say no to wedding cake every week. And I was just, my body was used to sugar. So that was like the first thing that really surprised me in the first 10 days when I started adding this nutrients in. I literally stopped craving sugar. So any of you out there who are like, I don't know if I can give up my sugar, my coffee, my chips, my bread, my butter, whatever the thing is, just know that by adding the nutrition in, those things will fall away. I hate for people to feel like they have to fight themselves and like, I gotta like not do this thing and I'm craving it. What am I gonna do? If you just add in this nutrients, what it's doing is it's alkalizing the body. You're alkalizing your body, you're detoxing the liver, you are killing parasites, you're literally boosting your immune system. You're like basically enhancing your immune system and making it easier to fight off pathogens, fungus, bacteria, viruses, all the things, because none of those things can live in an alkaline environment. Disease cannot live in an alkaline environment. And even DNA, people who say like, well, I have genetic mutations, I got the MTHFR gene, all that stuff. If you take a damaged gene and you put it in an alkaline solution, what does it do? Do you know? It repairs itself. Okay, a genetically mutated strand will repair itself in an alkaline solution. It's pretty miraculous. So what we need to know is that the body has the capability of repairing itself. So we're giving it this alkaline nutrition for a good, ideally 90 days. And then by then you're in the habit of alkaline, and now you're continuing to keep your body alkaline because now you're in the habit of having lots of greens, lots of fruits, and lower fats in general. And there's actually studies that prove, a lot of people are like, fats, no fats, keto, no keto. But there are studies that prove that low fats actually reduce insulin resistance and actually makes our body more able to absorb sugar. Now, the funny thing is that people feel like they are afraid that they're not going to get enough protein on this transformation. So I want to like talk about that for a moment. You absolutely will get more than you need, to be honest. So all protein, all fruits and vegetables and meat get broken down into aminos. That's it. They get broken down to aminos, and then our body uses those aminos to build muscle, etc. Okay. Now those aminos are building blocks. What is the most efficient way to get those aminos? Fruits and vegetables. And it is really what is the easiest way. The body has to work really hard to break down fats into usable glycogen, sugar, which is fuel for the liver and the rest of the body. And so this is one of the reasons why it's ideal to lower fats. One, because it creates less insulin resistance. It lowers insulin resistance. Fat is like a condom. Okay. It's like a condom over the cell, and it prevents the sugar from going in to the cell. We need glycogen. We need sugar. We need fruit sugar. fruit sugar is the easiest thing for the body to absorb, the absolute easiest. It will take the least energy and the least effort for your body to actually have energy. You don't need energy to break down fruit. You have the fruit enzymes already in your mouth. As humans, just like gorillas and apes, we have the fruit enzymes. And those enzymes break down the fruit, so they're already digested by the time they go into your stomach. Everything else has to be broken down. Vegetables are the second easiest thing to break down. And then and then legumes and grains, and then meat and dairy and eggs. So we want to make it as efficient. So this protocol is really helpful. The more plant-based you go, the easier it is going to be for your liver to clean out. The easier it is going to be for your brain to feel energy. And hang on one second. The easier it's going to be for everybody to create the fuel for your body that your body actually needs. So what happens if you are eating an acidic diet, right? If you're eating a high animal fat or high animal diet, the fats require so much work for your body to break it down. Your body has to actually get adrenaline. To break down those complex fat molecules, your body needs adrenaline. That's norepinephrine, epinephrine, and these are corrosive to the body. So these things actually feed every bacteria and pathogen in your body. Dirty blood, dirty eyes. I'm an iridologist, so I look at the color of people's eyes, their whites. I also look at the color of the irises, and I look at what's going on in the irises. And so I can see what's happening in the body. I can see if the lymph is actually, if the toxins are getting cleaned out of the lymph through the eyes. Excuse me. So this whole protocol is going to make it really easy for your body to start detoxing your lymph and find those and open up those detox pathways, which are like the kidneys. The kidneys are detox pathways. You should be peeing out cloudiness and flakes. Everyone at Burning Man got into this whole piss clear thing. Honestly, that is not what you're trying to do. You want to be detoxing. You want to make sure that that urine is coming out cloudy and flaky. That means that you're actually eliminating. This is why we don't drink our urine, because all the toxins go in there. Now, I could go into a whole urine therapy thing, but since I mentioned it, I'll just say it really quick. One of the reasons some people will start to have any benefits from urine therapy is because when we pee, our urine is more alkaline than other substances. They'll tend to come out more alkaline. So if you drink your urine, yeah, you're like getting something a little bit more alkaline. However, it's much better to just drink way more alkaline fruits, lemon juice, juices, fruits, vegetables, leafy greens. That's a way better way to get your alkalinity. The problem with urine therapy is you're reintroducing all those toxins back into your body, as well as whatever leftover vitamins, things that have been taken out of your body, been taken out for a reason. Trust that. Okay. That's all I have to say. I went there and I went there. I didn't mean to go there today, but it just happened. Okay. So the protein myth, there's the protein myth. We think we need more protein than we do, but everything gets broken down into aminos. And so the super aminos, one serving of the super aminos is equivalent to the serving of a steak, the serving of a piece of chicken. It's equivalent to that in aminos, because remember, chicken and steak gets broken down into aminos. About 40% of it gets used by the body. The other 60% becomes toxins. And then those have to be excreted and have to find their way out of the body. And the fats have to be broken down into glycogen, which is quite a process that requires a lot of adrenaline. So this is why we suggest going as plant-based as possible through the process. And those are what the flex foods are. So the flex foods that are introduced especially during the 10-day cleanse, during that second 10 days, is so that your body can detox, the liver can detox, and you are killing parasites during those 10 days. So you're taking the super cleanser herbs during those 10 days. That's killing off all the parasites. Maybe not all, but gently killing off, if you have tapeworms or something really aggressive, you might have to do something more aggressive, but it's going to generally deal with the parasites that you might get from eating pork, handling money, drinking water, There's lots of ways that people get parasites. Kissing their dogs, cuddling with their kitties. You know, there's a lot of different ways. Handling money. These are all ways we can get parasites. So we kill in the first 10 days, we kill off those parasites. And then we have a 20-day break. And that takes us into the second month. And that's when we take the super cleanse our herbs again. And then that kills that kills all the eggs that have hatched. So now the eggs that didn't get killed in the first round have now hatched. They've taken 20 days to hatch. And then now you're killing off that round. So now you're good. So like that, that's why we do the parasite cleanse, and that's the first 2 months. So I say eat any fruits and vegetables, including sweet potatoes and potatoes. And that is, those are all your flex foods. Okay. So the kind of standard way that the company introduces this is to do 2 shakes a day and your super aminos twice a day for the entire 90 days. Now, the super cleanse our herbs, you take only for 10 days in the middle of those, in the middle of the first and the second month, 10 days each. But otherwise, everything else is the same. You're replacing 2 meals a day with shakes and aminos, super aminos, and then you're having a healthy, clean, and green meal, either for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Okay, so breakfast, lunch, or dinner is a clean or green meal. That could be sweet potatoes with leafy greens and some sauce on there. All right. I have 2 cooking videos that talk about how to make different sauces and how to flavor your food according to all world traditions. I grew up in a household of chefs, and we owned a restaurant in North Beach, the Italian district in San Francisco. I learned quite a bit about food growing up in my household of chefs. I was a sous chef for everyone, my mom, my sister, my stepdad. And so you know, making sauces, if you want fat, eat it in the form of a whole food, such as an avocado or nuts. And don't eat too many nuts. A lot of people eat nuts all day long. That's still too much. But having avocado dressing instead of oil, instead of using oil, use avocado dressing. Instead of, you could also use nuts to make dressing. You can like soak nuts and soak them overnight, soak them for 6 to 8 hours, and then rinse them off in the morning. And then you can like blend them up with garlic and a date and some salt and some spices, and then that makes something delicious. Ooh, Kimberly says, I love pumpkin seed, flower seeds, hemp seed dressing. Yes, so you can like throw in some seeds, you can blend them all together. And again, any herbs and spices that you want, all herbs and spices are welcome as long as they're, you know, organic and non-GMO. And that makes it creamy. Yeah, so if you want that creaminess, just like go for some kind of nuts or seeds, soak them and rinse them, and then throw them in the blender with your herbs and spices. Lemon is great for you. Lemon is amazing. It's very alkalizing. It also helps lift heavy metals, and it's extremely hydrating. As long as it's in raw water, you don't want to have cooked water. No boiled water with your lemon water. You want to make if it's boiled, boiled tea is great medicinally, but it's not hydrating. If you want hydrating, you got to have raw water. Yeah, that does sound good. Oh my gosh, Kimberly has stories of worms coming out. I'm sure you've seen it. Pictures get passed around in this company. It's kind of funny. Okay, so nuts versus oils. So a tablespoon of any oil, even if it's coconut or avocado, those are the best oils, but even any oil is 14 grams of fat, right? So a tablespoon of oil is 14 grams of fat. Your body has to produce adrenaline, norepinephrine, epinephrine, in order to break down that fat, those complex fat molecules. Okay, so that's a lot of fat, 14 grams, a tablespoon, that's a lot of fat to be putting on your food. Make the same dressing with avocado instead. A tablespoon of avocado is only 1.4 grams of fat. Such a small amount. A tablespoon of nuts, 1.4 grams of fat. So substitute oils for actual whole foods that have fats in them, such as avocados, nuts, or seeds, and then blend it up. Olives, yes, olives are delicious. I have no idea how much fat is in them, but it's different than having a straight spoonful of olive oil, right? You can even make a tapenade, make an olive tapenade without any oil. Blend it up with some herbs and spices, and you can like put that on your potatoes, on your sweet potatoes, on your greens, on your steamed veggies. You can make a pesto. You can make a pesto and you can blend that with avocado or nuts and let that be the fat inside the pesto. And you can like also put that on different things for flavor. You can use salsa for flavor. And what else? Soups are good. One of the things I love to do is use squash. Squash is a hearty base. So a lot of times when people are trying to feed themselves, especially during the winter where it's cold, is like, how do I, if I'm not going to do grains and if I'm not going to do meat, I'm not going to do dairy, how am I going to get sustenance? If I'm not doing eggs, how do I get sustenance? The craving for things like eggs is a craving for hearty calories. So give yourself some hearty calories by doing a beet, carrot, some kind of roast that has lots of roots like daikon radish, all kinds of different radishes. And parsnips. I mean, these are really great bases, and you can actually put those in a soup and blend them up with all kinds of herbs and vegetables and broth, veggie broth. Just add that in, just blend it up in the blender, and you have like a nice creamy soup. And like that. Questions? Anybody have questions? Any thoughts? Let's see what you guys got going in the comments. Yes, if you want water warm, then that's fine, but just also have some non-warm water, or have your raw water and just add in a little bit of heated water to like warm up the water. Instead of cooking all of it, just cook a little bit of it and add it to your uncooked water. Okay. All right, she put a raw vegan recipe up there. Okay, we got the YouTube channel. Thank you. Oops. Okay, so this is the woman who, oh, I love it. This is the woman who owns Millennium in San Francisco. Anybody ever go to Millennium in San Francisco? We love her. Yeah, she's got great recipes. Yeah, Kimberly and I are big fans of her. She has a lot of great recipes. Small milestone. Go, Julia. I quit coffee and dairy, especially butter, during my last ULT, and I said never would give those two up. Yay! And though I started eating limited bread and sugar, I did not go back to coffee and dairy. That's fantastic. See, that's the ultimate lifestyle transformation right there. Many steps and 1 year clean of those two. Wow, super awesome. Thanks, Julia. Yes, that's the kind of inspiration I'm talking about. Yeah. Go ahead. Who was going to speak? I heard somebody. The body loves us. Any other contributions? Any other questions? Any other concerns? We can talk about substitutes. We can talk about substitutes. So like substitutes for sweet would be things like maple syrup, dates. Dates kill viruses, you guys. So dates in everything. You can blend up some dates with almonds and have that as like a garnish on something on your salad. You can do like Brazil nuts and garlic and blend that up, and that's like cheese. That's like Parmesan. Just blend up just literally put in the blender some Brazil nuts and garlic and some salt, and you're like, oh, Parmesan. Okay, put that on your zoodles, on your zoodles or noodles, right? If you're gonna do grains, then I recommend choose from these three: oats, whole grain oats, obviously gluten-free, but whole oats, brown rice, or quinoa. Those are the three best grains you can have if you want to do grains on this. If you're like, I need to have something, then do those. But if you want to pull out grains altogether, which I do recommend for some people who are struggling with their health, is like even pull out the grains and then just have, or if you're going to do grains, soak them, right? Soak your rice overnight and then rinse it in the morning. But definitely do those hearty bases: potatoes, sweet potatoes. Oh, and butternut squash soup is my favorite. Butternut squash, roast some butternut squash and red peppers together. Oh, and some onions. Just throw onions, red peppers, and butternut squash. Okay. Please all of the different parts of the palate. Your salty, your sweet, your tart, your bitter, your salty. If you get all of those different flavors into a recipe, people are going to love you. So go for all the flavors of the tongue and try to get that into every single thing that you make, right? So like even that Parmesan that I just described. So the Brazil nut has a sweet, and then the garlic is like the tart and bitter, right? And the pungent. And then you add some salt in, and then you got like, so now you got salt, sweet, tart, pungent. It's like so delicious. Okay. Oh yeah, I love artichokes. Laurel Bakery in LA. She's the most incredible dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, vegan desserts. Wow. And she has excellent cookbook. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, sweetened with dates. Yeah, dates are so incredible. They're great for killing viruses. And then maple syrup is amazing food for the liver. The liver needs glycogen, it needs glucose, it needs sugar in order to function. Same with the brain. So many people are backwards in thinking around the brain. So the brain does have some gray matter, there's some fat in the brain, but that's not what actually fuels the brain. People are like, I need fat for my brain to function. No, you actually need sugar for your brain to function. You need the glycogen. That's actually what causes the neurotransmitters to fire. So sending that signal across, they need sugar. Okay, not refined sugar, but healthy sugar. Raw honey, maple syrup, dates. These are like the best three. Those are the top best three sugars that you can have. Raw organic honey. Again, not heated. You don't want to heat it up too much. Otherwise, it loses its properties. You want to keep all those vitamins and minerals and not cook them out. So those make great substitutes for sweet. Medical Medium has amazing recipes. Also, you can go to the Medical Medium blog and just look up recipes. Like every recipe he has is completely in alignment with what we do, completely. So all of his recipes, you can do a search like Medical Medium oatmeal cookies, Medical Medium pancakes, Medical Medium butternut squash soup. It's pretty much all there. So all those flavors, he doesn't put salt in things. But if you do want to add salt, just do like a sea salt, Atlantic gray sea salt or Himalayan salt. I tend to veer away from Himalayan salt these days because they're destroying these, hillsides and the Himalayas it's just really sad. But all those salt lamps, all the salt and stuff like that, meow. We're definitely doing a lot of environmental damage. So the third month of the 90-day is really practicing the lifestyle transformation. And some people like myself and my partner included, we just have stayed on it forever. I try to do 2 shakes a day, every day. I try to do my aminos twice a day. When you do the only other supplement in there is the Biomedic. You can do once a day. If you got a lot of gut stuff going on, you can do 2 twice. You can do up to 2 twice a day. You can build up to that. And that is going to remove glyphosate from the gut. So glyphosate is a toxin in Roundup, and that stuff just wreaks havoc. So we just want to definitely detox the glyphosate, because that is hard on our digestion. And when we use the Biomedic, it actually regrows the villi so our body can absorb more nutrients. What else? What else can I say here? Today was really mostly about the schedule. So, okay, I'll finish that off. So, the third month, again, you're not doing the parasite cleanse the third month. Now you're just like living the lifestyle, practicing the lifestyle, eating fruits and vegetables. So the flex foods are fruits and vegetables, right? Eating them with your super aminos in the morning, and then eating them with your super aminos in the afternoon. So you always want to have your super aminos with some kind of flex food, right? Fruit or vegetable. Apples are great. Anyone struggling with mold. Apples actually, the pectin in apples actually help remove mold spores from the gut. It's incredible. I used to, before I found Purium, I used to tell people to do Pectisol, because Pectisol is made of pectin. And I knew that was something that was recommended for people to like detox from mold. And it was later that I learned out why. It's because the pectin bonds with the mold spores. So an apple a day is real true. I usually like to have apples every single day throughout the day. If you're somebody who's struggling with eczema or psoriasis or any kind of cancer or debilitating disease, I highly recommend doing the heavy metal detox protocol. If you're low in vitamin D, it's often a sign that you have heavy metals because you're not absorbing your vitamin D. So that's another thing, is like heavy metal detox protocol. And that's basically a whole thing where you do lemon in the morning, and then you do followed half an hour later by celery juice, and then half an hour later you do the smoothie, which has Atlantic dulse in it. It's got cilantro, wild blueberries. Wild blueberries are blue all the way through, unlike regular blueberries, which are white in the middle, if you'll notice. So wild blueberries are blue all the way through. It's got those anthocyanins. You do an orange, and you do 2 bananas. And you add in the Purium, a scoop of this, like a teaspoon of the Purium spirulina, and a teaspoon of the Purium barley green juice powder. And the barley green juice powder also is antiviral. So all of these things lift metals. Spirulina actually moves metals all the way through. Chlorella will pull up metals and then lay them somewhere, but spirulina actually removes metals all the way out of the body. So the fulvic zeolite is something else you can add in. That is something that's great for removing heavy metals. And those are 3 drops under the tongue made by Purium. So that's the heavy metal detox protocol. We have it in our app, so if you need it, just let us know. We can send it to you. Now, here's an alternative. Oh, go ahead, Kimberly, and then I'm going to talk about the 10-day protocol.
I just wanted to, kind of plant some seeds for future self-care practices. Like, there's something in us as humans when it's like, oh, I finally like did that 90-day and now it's done. And, but like, I invite all of us to think like, oh, wow, we just scratched the surface here. And then what's the next thing that you get to like be even more practiced in, and maybe even just like coming right back into a 90-day, but even more fine-tuned. You have one underneath your belt, and then just like coming into this place of like, how do I fine-tune what I just did for 90 days? And we just get better and better at the recipes, and like learning our body, like when it's time for the water and when it's time for the next round of aminos. And like, you just start like dancing with yourself in this way of nutritional like saturation. And then you start realizing like, whoa, my car's not driving to that place anymore at all. Like, even though the 90 days are over, I'm not going to go back to that thing that it was so far away. But like, because again, this has been 6 years that I have been living this ultimate lifestyle transformation with 2 or 3 shakes a day, flex foods only, like, and then every once in a while I go into like places of like, oh, go to the Thai food restaurant, maybe a few times too many, and then it kind of like goes back. So, it's such a journey of that ever winding staircase where you might be looking at the same view, but you're like quite a few rungs higher. And so I just invite everybody to like just dive in even deeper. And then maybe you have the wherewithal to do exactly that heavy metal detox. And there's just like so many more layers that we get to just keep going into if we choose. So anyway, I wanted to say that.
Yeah. And then there is like definitely like a rhythm and a dance. I like that analogy to the dance, because you definitely develop a rhythm. And also, one things I recommend just to keep yourself on track. Now, here's the thing: if you miss those shakes and if you don't get those in, you'll be hungry, and then that's when the habits start to that's when the cravings creep in. So it's really important to be scheduled with this. So I set my alarm. My first thing in the day is my super aminos with an apple or some kind of fruit. And then 2 hours later is a shake. And then 2 hours later is in super aminos with another apple and a fruit. And then 2 hours later, another shake. And so every 2 hours I set my alarm. This keeps me on track. And then I have my evening meal with my family or whoever, right? My friends, family, partner, whatever. And so this keeps you on track for not letting those cravings come back in. And you start to feel nourished and satiated throughout the day. And so this is how Purium is now designed for majority of people, is to be done like that throughout the whole 90 days, because it's easier to follow. But some of you came in at a time where we used to have the 10-day protocol where we build up to. So I'm going to go over that. The first 10 days is you're just doing this once a day. You're doing a light cleanse. Your body's just lightly cleansing. You're just slowly easing in. So you're doing the shakes once a day and the super aminos once a day. in the morning, and then you're having your 2 clean green meals for the rest of the day. And you can have your biomedic whenever, once a day. And then you have your tart cherry juice at night. Okay, so throughout the entire time, 90 days, also you're doing your tart cherry 2 tablespoons every night. And if you have constipation, you're going to do 2 tablespoons in the morning as well. If you have constipation, it's a sign of heavy metal detoxing. So just bear with it, get the cherry juice in, and do your lemon water in the morning as well to help get regular. Ideally, you want to be going 2 times a day. 2 to 3 times a day is regular healthy bowels. Anything less than that is considered constipated. Okay, so that's for the first 10 days. You can do it 1 or 2 times a day. And then the second 10 days is where you do it 3 times a day. So this is like the real cleanse. This is the like really going for the liver cleanse, really going for the parasite cleanse. This is one of the best things you can do for your body. Even though it's not on the schedule that Purium offers, I recommend doing it. Get that 10 days in. That is like a game changer for most people. So you're going to do your super aminos. So every 2 hours, super aminos, then 2 hours later. And remember, every time you do your super aminos, you eat. So there's a flex food. There's a fruit or vegetable. 2 hours later, shake. 2 hours later, super aminos. 2 hours later, shake. 2 hours later, super aminos. 2 hours later, shake. Okay. And then you're having steamed greens. You can have salads. You can make salads with a bunch of different vegetables and those sauces that I mentioned. Those are welcome. You can have an avocado. You can have any fruits or vegetables throughout the day. Basically, mostly you want to stick to leafy greens and fresh fruit. That's ideal. Leafy greens and fresh fruit. They can be steamed or raw vegetables. And then you do that 10-day cleanse, right? But I just mentioned we're doing it 3 times a day. And that's when you do your super cleanser herbs, the anti-parasites. You're going to do those 2 of those twice a day. So I just do them with the shakes, 2 of them with the morning shake, 2 of them with the afternoon or evening shake. And the biomedic, I'm just doing once a day. And that can be right before you have your shake, because the biomedic is a probiotic as well as a prebiotic and a plusbiotic. So you do that right before your meal. And then your last 10 days, you go back to twice a day or once a day. So I see Julia's question in there. She was saying, you're saying, 1 meal a day is ideal, but I am interested in a modified version where I can have 2 clean meals a day that are clean food based other than the 10-day portion that I do. That feels more sustainable to me and my friends that are Purium Purists. Yeah, I mean, I would still do the 2 shakes a day because you want all that nutrients. But if you want to eat 2 meals, that's up to you. Clean green meals twice a day, that's fine. Especially if you're not looking to lose weight, and especially if you're not trying to, if you're just wanting to have like a general healthy lifestyle. So that's what I would recommend. But most people will find that they're full after 2 shakes is filling. And so you might feel full if you try to eat 2 more meals in the day. But if not, go for it. You know what I mean? Just make sure you get those 2 shakes a day in, because the point is to get the nutrients in so your liver can detox. And so you can kill off any viral loads and pathogens. Yeah, the ever-winding staircase. And then the second month, you just continue with twice a day. And then when you come into those super cleanser herbs again, you can either just stick with twice a day, second month, or you can do that 10-day cleanse again, where you do the shakes and the super aminos 3 times a day, up to you. So you can either replace 3 meals a day, or you can replace 2 meals a day during that second 10-day. And then you go back to the lifestyle of twice a day, and then the following month, twice a day. And then the 4th month is designed to be once a day. That's when you go to taper down to doing what's called the continuation, the core 4 daily. And that's just doing the super aminos and the shake once a day. Some people will take their super aminos with their shake because it's just easier. If you're like someone who's like, it's too many things, it's too many alarms, just do your super aminos with your shake and do that twice a day. And then when you get to the 4th month, you go down to once a day. And so you're doing the shake and the super aminos once a day, and your cherry juice at night. And again, your biomedic is always, it's a probiotic. So you always take a probiotic at the beginning of a meal before you eat. So it's always the first thing. And that's it. Very simple. Hope that's simple for everyone. If you're confused, let me know. If you have questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat. But that's all. Hopefully, I know I'm kind of like meandering all over the place. Next week, we're going to talk about calcium. We're going to talk about bone health. Next week, we're going to talk about bone health. We're going to talk about calcium and cholesterol. And Kimberly, you're welcome to invite your team, but that we're going to be very specific about bone health next week. And I'm excited for that because a lot of people don't understand, why am I getting osteoporosis? Why am I having problems with my bones? Why am I having calcification in my arteries? Why am I in my heart? You know, where does this all come from? It's a very, very interesting topic. And so every week is a different topic. I think once a month, we're just going to do like the support Zooms like we did today, answering question and answer. But definitely bring your friends and bring your questions so that we can make sure that everyone is getting supported. And I think that's it for today. Yeah. And those of you who are interested in sharing this with other people, I just want to like reinstate this concept that when talking about the price, I think it's really important to think about this. First of all, ask yourself, how much do I spend on food every day in general? Do you go out to eat? Do you go to the deli? Do you buy a bunch of organic food? Do you buy a bunch of snacks? What do you spend on all this stuff? Chips, snacks, coffee, meals, deli food, restaurant food. I mean, the average person spends over $35 a day. Well over $35 a day in food. Okay, the average American. So this lifestyle, this ultimate lifestyle transformation it's a money saver. And this, I noticed for me, I saved over $300 my first month in groceries. I'm like, what the heck? This literally was like, it's like, this is just my groceries. This is literally swapping out my groceries. So it's actually, for me, a lot cheaper to live the ultimate lifestyle transformation than it is to actually buy food. This is definitely one of those game changers. Because a meal is $2.50 for a shake. And then your supplement. So for $6, you're getting your shake plus all of your supplements, and you do that twice a day. If you're adding in the zinc aid, which if you want to do that, add that in. You take that whenever you want throughout the day. You're going to take 3 in the morning every day. If you add in the zinc, then it's $6.50. $6.50 includes your meal plus your supplements twice a day. And then your cherry juice at night. So it's definitely a money saver. And so rather than thinking, am I investing in my health? Yeah, you're investing in your health, but it's not even an investment. You're literally just like changing your groceries. And so it can save you money. So think of it that way when you're sharing this with friends, you're talking to your friends about it, just really help them understand that like, this is a way to save money, and it's going to save you a lot of time because you're not going to be cooking as much. You'll be like, takes 1 minute to make your breakfast, 1 minute to make your lunch. So you'll have more hours in the day. That was another thing that shocked me, was how many hours I had left in the day. So many hours left in the day. It was unbelievable. So had to say that. Save your friends some money. If you want to share this with other people, if you're thinking about becoming a brand partner, talk to me. I'm happy to help because I went from being a wedding photographer making 6 figures to doing this, making 6 figures. This basically replaced my income, and I'm so much happier because I'm helping people with their health, helping people transform their lives. And I have a free Alchemy Health and Business School that you have access to. It's 12 modules, which I created. It's a whole nutritional program. It explains everything. You get a certificate at the end. It's free for anyone who decides to become a brand partner. I love sharing this with people. It's all the information. Like, I just give you my all in those modules, and they're free. So yes, let us know if you're interested in sharing this with other people. And yeah, good to see you all. Thanks for joining. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day, and hope to see you next Saturday. I'll also go over the protocol. I'll actually show my screen and talk about what's in the protocol for anybody who's new. If you have anybody who's interested and you want them to like check out the actual products, I will go over that. Devin, my sister, what's up, honey? Where are you?
I'm in my new home in Petaluma.
Yay, I love it. Oh, so good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
today.
You're welcome. Are we gonna chat? Did you want to chat? Do you want to chat later? Or do you want to chat here? Do you want me to stop the recording? I can stop the recording. Oh, you're muted, sweetie. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
Yeah, the recording so that we can have a focused.
Stop the recording?
yeah, stop the